and welcome to today's video where I am doing my reading journal setup for 2025. I do a monthly setup, but at the start of a new year, I make an overall setup for the year first. The spreads I am making are the ones that I will be using all throughout the year. With that out of the way now, let's begin. Just how every month I start with my monthly cover page, I am doing the same here. I have a title page with the name of this journal so that it's easy to distinguish from the other journals I have. I want my overall setup to have a theme, just how my monthly setups have, but I was unsure of what it should be and I didn't want to draw anything that could take up a lot of space in the spreads that I'm making. At the end, I chose to focus on using blue and beige toned markers, as well as using these stickers that I have lying around that are blue and also have bunnies, which is cute. Also, I added tan and light blue paper that I tore to make my journal look kind of used. I don't think that is the correct word. What I wanted to do was have torn paper so that the pages kind of look like torn books or pages out of a book that are torn out to make it look more bookish since it is my reading journal. I don't think I got my point across, but I really don't know how else to explain it. Oh, and at the end, I added decorations like stars and dots to make the page look cuter. I use the table of contents to jot down what I use each page for in this journal. If I have to find a specific page in my journal, I can look at the table of contents to find where it is, so I can immediately go to that page. I don't have number of pages at the moment, which is my mistake. I will add them to my journal soon, so I can write down the page for each month. Also, I have 2 pages for this, and hopefully that will be enough space for me to write everything down. I'm not really sure. Hopefully it is. New releases is where I keep track of the new books that are coming out in 2025. There are books that I am excited about that come out next year. This is an easy spread to look at each month easily and write down when the books will come out easily as well. This page cutter thing has been very helpful in having me use my paper very efficiently. Usually I would just cut from the corners and that's it, but since I have this page cutter thing, I use it so that I can cut it again so that I have edges when I run out of edges, and it has been very helpful in me not having to waste more paper, and I really like it, and I should have been using it before. I use these calendar number stamps that I have to quickly have the numbers for each month stamped out rather than having me write them out individually, which takes a lot of time, and it has been very helpful. Even though there are little mistakes I made with the stamps because I was scared of it getting too messy on my hands and on the pages. Next up is want to read page. This is for me to write out whenever I want the books that I want to read but haven't yet. Sometimes I get recommended a book and I forget the title because I didn't write it down immediately. So on top of this helping with having a place to write down books I am interested in, it's also good at seeing which books I ended up reading from the ones that I wanted to read this year. Having a place for how many books I want to read this year is good to have in a reading journal. I have a square for each book, and throughout the year we'll have a color for each month, so I can color in how many of the squares I color in each month. I didn't really count the amount of squares I made, so I am unsure of how many books I have as my goal, but I want to hopefully read more than 80 books this year. I am interested in seeing if I accomplish my goal and how many books I end up reading each month. It's always fun to look back and see how one month I could have read 10 books and another 1 or even 0 books. I'm always tearing the paper that I'm going to be using before I start anything else in each of these setups. Book Series Tracker is a way for me to keep track of the books I have read or am reading that ended up being part of a series. Many times when I am reading a book, I finish it and find out that the book is part of a series and I want to read the other books as well. That's where the Book Series Tracker comes in handy. I added the book series and the title of each of the books in the series and then mark off the ones I have read. At the moment, I can't think of a book series that I am reading or that I found out the book is part of a series, and I will definitely be filling this out this month or the next one with the books once I remember them. Books read for 2025. I like to have a place where I have all the books I have read the whole year. Tracking things are very fun for me to do, so even though each month I include all the books I read in my monthly spread, I like to have a place where I have all of them together and can look back at how many in general I've read throughout the year. I have cut out an extra page for this because I did say my goal was over 80 books, so I have an extra page to include all the books that I do end up reading. I don't think having 2 pages alone is enough, so that's why I have the extra page. And I'm interested in seeing if I end up using it or if I ended up needing more, which I doubt I will, but it's good to have extra pages rather than less. Also, I like having pages like this in my journal because I feel like I am flipping a book within my journal, and that is very fun to do. And overall, this spread looks very cute. I love how the colors are working well together. Then I have Book of the Year. The point of this is to find out at the end of the year what is my favorite book for the year. Each month I have to add my favorite book I read. Then when this is filled out, I compare between the 2 books in the brackets that they are in to compete until finally I have only 3 books left. And from those, I end up choosing my favorite one of the year. I am interested in seeing how this turns out because what if I have a month where I read like a lot of books that I really like, and then I have a month where I only read 1 book, so that one automatically becomes my favorite book, and all the other possibilities I have. So I am interested in seeing how this ends up happening, and if I am in agreement with the book I end up having as my favorite book for the year. a lot of spreads for this setup, but I am finally at the last one, which is my reading stats for 2025. I like to track my book habits, and these stats I have for the year are very helpful with that. I have format, which is to see what percentage of books I read are ebook, audiobook, or physical. Genres to know if there is a specific genre that I prefer or a genre I didn't read a lot from. I look at these stats and see if I should try and broaden the type of genres I read, or if I have like a specific genre that I prefer, which I don't know that I prefer, so I just want to see how this ends up looking. I'm interested in seeing the percentage of books I finish to the ones I don't finish. I assume I finished most of the books that I start, especially when they're audiobooks. I just end up finishing them most of the time, but I might be wrong. I'm going to be interested in seeing how some of these stats end up looking and if I am surprised by any of them. Also, ratings to see if I rate typically high or low the books I read. I'm not really sure how my rating in general is, and I can't wait to see what my average rating and just the rating pie chart I have there will show. That is it for the setup. Here is a flip through of all the spreads I worked on throughout the video, all finished and easy to look at. I am very happy with how my setup turned out. I really like the colors that I chose, which is a relief because when I was making this, I wasn't sure if the color combinations and stickers would work well together. I just kind of was hoping for the best, and I was like, I don't think it's going to look good, but now looking at it done, it looks really good, and I'm really happy with it. Now that I am at the end of the video, all that's left to say is thank you for watching and goodbye.